Hi, I'm Mrs. Reed, and I teach math and physics at Shawnee Mission South High School. I attended Shawnee Mission Schools K through 12, and I went to KU. Since leaving KU, I've been to many places and had many experiences, but I was excited to land at South in 2014. I've been teaching math for many years, and in 2017, I started teaching physics, and I love the energy that happens when students are engaged in learning new things. A little bit about myself. I have a husband and a son, and we love to go on adventures. I enjoy being outdoors, walking my dog, and occasionally biking. I enjoy learning new things, and I'm excited to finally start this school year. Most of us have been very anxious about this for 6 months, and I'm glad to finally get to meet my students and get started on whatever adventures that this school year is going to bring. Hello and welcome to the 2020-2021 school year. This is going to be an interesting year. It has started out on an interesting note. I will say it has been challenging, but so far it's also been very positive. Let's go ahead and get started through the presentation. So a little bit about how this class is going to be taught. I'm going to use videos to introduce concepts. YouTube.com and edpuzzle.com are both sources that I will use to introduce concepts. Now, I do not expect the students to learn totally by video. That's not very reasonable. And so we will also be following that with in-class discussions. So anytime we have a video that's assigned, we typically will follow that with some discussion so that we can kind of flesh out those ideas that were introduced. As far as labs go, we will be doing labs. It is a science class and we need to do those labs. It's just so important for those students to see how things are working. And in physics especially, it's like you got to get your hands on it and do it. So I'm hopeful that we will get some labs done. Some of those labs will be online and some will be at home. We will be using whatever we can use technology-wise as well as old school to investigate some physics principles. As far as tests go, we will be having smaller and more frequent tests, maybe more like quizzes, rather than unit tests. The unit tests typically in this class would come directly from old AP tests, and so that the kids have an opportunity to see those questions. I still want to maintain that. I think it's important in an AP class that students get exposure to what that is going to be like when they sit down to that test, and I do hope that most of the students take the test. But because it isn't online this semester so far, we'll see what happens in the future with that, but I just think it's going to be more beneficial to everyone, the students and myself, academic integrity and everything else, that we stick with smaller and more frequent quizzes instead of having the larger unit tests. We'll be having some assignments through a textbook. I have in the past used a textbook. It is published by Survey. The author is Survey, and it is a paper textbook. And in our district, we have not ever purchased the digital copy of that. Now it is out there and you can buy it, but we don't have those in Shawnee Mission. And so because that is a textbook that I have had in the past, I have used that, and those are resources that I'm familiar with and I feel comfortable with and I'm confident that are helpful for the physics student. So I will still continue to use assignments through that textbook. But that will not be the only source because AP Classroom has also started up. They started up last year and they continue to put new content on there, and it's very helpful. Again, a little bit more where it's kind of mimicking what would be on the AP test, the type of level of difficulty that you would see on an AP test, and I think that's important for them to see. So we'll use AP Classroom for that. There is also a website called physicsclassroom.com, as well as others. There's Physics Aviary, there's PhET that we will be using frequently, but a variety of online sources where they have some simulations, they have some online labs, they have some quiz banks, all sorts of resources that are available to us online. So we'll be relying on all of those. In addition, College Board has also begun putting videos and resources available online. They started really in earnest last spring when they realized they weren't going to be having an AP test. They put out a bunch of videos, and now they're doing a daily video. So we really have quite a few resources that we can use from College Board as well. The AP Physics 1 topics are listed here. I will be working with the teachers across the district, the physics teachers across the district, to make sure that we are in line with each other and to make sure that we are in line with the AP so that we're following all the same steps as each other. In other words, at the end of the semester, some of the students might be going back in person, and they might not be at South, which is where I typically teach. And so some of those students, when they go back to their other schools, they will need to make sure that they've learned what they needed to learn first semester and it corresponds with what they were doing at their other school. So actually this list that I have up here is my list from last year. Now these are all the same topics, but I will be double checking to make sure that all of these topics are in alignment with the order that they are on the AP. For instance, I already know that electrostatics and DC circuits in the AP curriculum, those are listed as number 9 and 10. I have them up here as number 6 and 7. I used to have them here because electrostatics deals with static electricity. This would be in January. That'd be a great time to study static electricity. May is not so great. However, I want to stick with the AP, and so I'm going to rearrange some of these. These are the topics, but they will be arranged so that they coincide with the AP curriculum specifically, and also specifically to the other schools in the district. And as far as AP testing goes, let's just talk a little bit about it. I really hope that most of the students take the AP test. I typically do have quite a few people taking that test. If you look up the data, and so totalregistration.net is a place that you can find a lot of that data. And if you look up that data, it is unfortunate to me, but the AP Physics 1 test typically has the worst data. And that is, it's a shame, really. And I don't know why it is. I don't know how that happens, but that is what it is. However, that being said, South students typically outperform the national averages. And I think, actually, I have not looked at the other buildings' numbers recently, but I think that all of us in Shawnee Mission are typically outperforming the national averages. I typically have at least a handful of students on the 4 and 5 list. So I feel confident about the way we teach it, and I feel confident that those who are taking the test and who are serious about taking the test will do well. Now, 2020, testing was done at home and online. The students were not allowed to come into the buildings, of course, at that time. That was, key pandemic time there. As far as 2021, they have not released specific details. They have said that it will not be the same format as it was in 2020. They are really hoping to get back to kind of a more traditional format. So those details have not been released yet. I will let the students know as soon as I have those details what that testing situation would be like, but I do think it's worth their time to take that test. This is some information about me, my education, my experience. You can also learn more about me at the beginning of this video when I had the introduction to me, but a little bit more here. In addition, please contact me. Right now, being digital, it's very hard to communicate with people. And being digital, it's hard to interpret what other people are saying. So please feel free to contact me. You can email me, but you can also contact me through the WebEx and we can have a video meeting. That might, for a lot of situations, be better just because you get to see the person's face and there are a lot of meaning is lost sometimes in context if you're doing text or emails. So feel free to contact me if you ever feel like we do need to conference. And then the last slide about me, again, just more information about me. I covered some of this already in the video, but a little bit more about me if you're interested in some of my details. Lastly, I just want to say that I'm very excited about this year. I know there are challenges. I am the kind of person who doesn't typically back away from challenges. And so I am embracing this opportunity. In addition, I have had the opportunity to meet with the students on a couple of occasions so far, and I'm really excited about what I'm seeing in the students. One of the benefits of the classes that I teach is I get to have many of my students twice, and that really makes for a great teaching experience for me because then I know the students know me, and it just makes for such a better start to the year, which I'm really fortunate to have. So, thank you for tuning in to the video today, and I really look forward to the school year. Please feel free to contact me anytime you have questions.